everybody. Before we start, let me ask one question. Do you think Pluto is a planet?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some of you might say Pluto is a planet, but most of you guys might say Pluto is not a planet. But is it true? Shall we find out together?
Mm-hmm.
Before we actually talk about if Pluto is really a planet, we have to learn about Pluto, its moons, the conditions of being a planet, and is Pluto a planet? And I'll tell you about some amazing facts about Pluto. At the very last part, I prepared some quiz about my presentation, so please pay attention. What is Pluto? Pluto is the ninth planet of our solar system. It was discovered in 1930 by Clyde William Tombaugh. However, scientists already had knew that there was another planet orbiting our sun. Its moons. Pluto has 5 moons in total. The Earth has only one. However, Pluto's are all very small and looks more like an asteroid than a moon. Pluto's moons are Styx, Nix, Kerberos, Hydra, and Charon. As you can see, Charon is the largest moon, and most of them are just tiny little things that are smaller than their parent planet, Pluto. The conditions of being a planet. The first condition is that it needs to orbit a star. The second, it has to have a sphere shape. Third, it has to be alone. Now let's look at the conditions one by one. The first condition, it needs to orbit a star. As you can see, this red line is the orbit of Pluto. As you can see, this is our sun and Pluto is orbiting a star, so it passes this condition. Second, it has to have a sphere shape. As you can see, Pluto has a sphere shape. Some scientists say that Pluto has a more sphere shape than the Earth has. But if you look close, this part looks like a heart, and many scientists say that this is a really lovable planet and we should love it like it loves us.
What?
Third condition is that it needs to be alone. But especially I will talk about this specifically in the next slide. Is Pluto a planet? Just to give you an answer, Pluto is not a planet, unfortunately. The reason is that, do you remember the third condition? The third condition is it needs to be alone. However, as you can see, Pluto is not alone. This bunch of stars are called the Kuiper Belt, and Pluto is orbiting in the Kuiper Belt. As you can see, there are many similar sized stars and asteroids orbiting as well. So Pluto is not the only object that is orbiting in the Kuiper Belt. So it did not pass this condition. That's why Pluto is not a planet. Now I will tell you about some amazing facts about Pluto. Did you know that Pluto has an atmosphere? In 2006, scientists sent New Horizon, a spacecraft, to Pluto to take some pictures for research. When they did, they took this picture. Do you see the layers around Pluto? These layers are called atmosphere. Although we can't breathe in it, but still, isn't it amazing that Pluto also has an atmosphere? Not many planets have this. And even if they do, they're very toxic. Second fun fact is that, do you see this red spot? This is called Tholen. Do you know the Jupiter's great red spot? This also has Tholen inside. Tholen can make up DNA and life. So some scientists say that there might be life in this really red spot Tholen. Another thing is that, did I mention that Pluto has a strange orbit? Just like this. Some scientists say that Pluto is closer to the sun than Neptune because of this orbit. And the next one, it has ice volcanoes. I think this is the most interesting part because in Earth, the volcanoes have lavas, but Pluto has ice. Instead of exploding with lava, it explodes with ice that quickly freezes and make these small mountains as well. Pluto's gravity is 6 to 8% of the Earth's. So if there's a person who is 60 kilograms, Pluto, he or she might be really light. And also, scientists have changed Pluto's name. It is now called a dwarf planet 134340. And it is also the same name as this dog character. Do you know its name?
Pluto.
I know. This is Pluto, and it kind of looks similar. And this
Wait.
Disney's inventor actually changed the character's name to match with this planet. Now, if you don't have any questions, I will move on to the quizzes. The first question, why is Pluto not a planet? Yes?
Because they're not alone.
Yes. Number 2, what is Pluto called now?
Dwarf planet 134340.
Yes. The answers are number 1, because it is not alone in the Kuiper belt, and second, it is now called the dwarf planet 134340. It's a bit strange, right?
Aww.
Even though we changed Pluto's name and we made Pluto not a planet, if we give our attention to Pluto, I think Pluto will be very happy with that. Thank you for listening to my presentation.